Righty, our final segment today is head to head. And yes, you're wondering why Miguel sounds a bit different. It's because I have stepped in. Miguel's now in the cuck chair behind the cameras. And because we thought, we're doing head to head. So we're going to pit, Filipino culture versus South Asian culture. We're going to do Indian culture, but then I realized I'm actually not Indian. So let's take the whole subcontinent. Yeah.
You realized?
Halfway
this
through.
morning, actually. Like, what? Oh, I'm not.
I don't want to lie to the audience. So that's why I've stepped in for Miguel. And before we get into it, I just want to say, with all due respect, putang ina mo.
Hey.
Respectfully.
Very nice. Don't putang ina mo, bro.
But we've got, I think, 5 or 6, maybe more categories that we're going to run through. And we're going to just talk about, which culture does it better, which one does it worse maybe in some of these categories. And we're just going to explore our experiences. Ro, any other comments or should we just get into it?
Let's dive right in, boys.
Well, the first one we want to start off with was, I guess, punishment, corporal punishment growing up when you were kids. So Filipino culture versus the South Asian culture. And I feel like it's going to be very similar, but we'll let you guys start. What any gnarly punishments you got dished out or any creative ones?
Because I grew up in Philippines up until I was 9. The person that was disciplining me, and we talked about this in the pod all the time, was my grandma. And she's a pimp. Like, I know, I'm really trying to think of another way, but
trying to sugarcoat it.
She owns an establishment. She hires a stable of girls, putas. And then people come drink and do their thing or whatever. It's like
you're being serious.
She's a legit, yeah.
Fair enough.
So she would discipline me the same way she would discipline her pimp, her peoples.
Oh no way!
Like the slapping thing, but generally, like the one that sticks to my head was more like kneeling down on either mung beans or the sea salt, and then I'd hold up my textbooks from school. I was fucking like 6 or 7, you know what I mean? Like, and then when that thing would start going down, I would get the slap with this. It's like this broom just made out of little, like individual strands that have been like bind together. So when you take one of the strands out, it's like just one like a thin stick.
Like a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go whack, and then it's like,
like a cane sort of thing.
Put it back up.
This is why his shoulders are so big, man. It's
my shoulders carrying this trauma. Yeah, my knees got crazy. Like, I know that I didn't think you should do that to a child, let alone anyone. But
my grandmother was old fashioned. She was old fashioned.
Yeah,
is that a common punishment? Or did your grandmother come up with that? Like,
I think that was a common
that's
one.
IP. Oh no, it's
just like common with like strict parents, I guess, during that time.
Yeah.
How long did you have to hold these books?
It wasn't even long, bro. I can't hold them on for like that long.
Lesson.
Yeah.
But as soon as they start moving, because anything you hold out, stretched, arms stretched out, it's gonna feel heavy, like immediately. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't good.
What did you have to do to cop that punishment? Like, were you doing anything outrageous or?
I was slapping.
He didn't cook rice.
Nah.
He wasn't reading enough books.
I used to run out of the school. So this school in Philippines was kind of like set up differently to the way we do here. We've got 2 sessions because you're trying to get as many kids through the day as much as you can. So you got the morning session and the afternoon session. I was supposed to start in the afternoon session, but I would walk in there and then I would walk out with the morning session kids to pretend that I was one of the morning kids. And then I would go hang out at the, playing games and stuff. And I would get caught and just dumb things like that, Yeah.
It's like the Grandpa Simpson meme where he walks into the burlesque house and then walks straight back out.
I got a similar one than that. I didn't have the shards of glass or whatever on my knees.
Oh, fucking.
No, I didn't have that. But I had the get on your knees and then put your hands up over your head. I've told this on the pod before as well. And it's just again, no
just
textbook.
To keep them up.
Just keep them up. Okay. And then I would just be sitting there, just chatting with my family, and then my hands come down, and then bang.
Oh,
that's some Guantanamo shit.
Yeah, these are all creative ideas, man. Because you got the classics of the genre, do you know what I mean? Like the wooden spoons, then belts, maybe.
Oh yeah, I got anything that was inside.
Yeah,
the wooden spoon, belts.
Yeah.
I think those are the main. Wooden spoon was definitely the main one. The belt was for the special occasions.
That's
like Christmas and hey.
That's why I always thought I feel sorry for anyone trying to break into a Filipino household or a South Asian household because everything is a weapon. Everything is a weapon in there.
What about you, Don? Anything Anything interesting?
Nah, not really interesting. Like I just got the vanilla stuff, just like belts and
Yeah, the
like,
classics.
slippers and that kind of stuff. I just remember one time my grandfather, because growing up they would be the ones taking care of us because my parents would go to work and stuff like that. I don't know what we did to annoy my grandfather, but he took his belt off, and I just have this memory of like him half holding his pants up as he's chasing us around the backyard, and like he's yelling at us and stuff like that. I'm like, punishment wasn't so bad.
It's comedy.
Yeah, it is comedy, really, after the fact.
I remember one time my mum, I was doing maths homework or whatever. My mum grabbed the ruler. I was being an idiot. Just went slap on the hand, but I caught it.
Oh,
And that made her furious.
you have no power here.
yeah.
They used to do that at the school. Like there was nuns at the school, and they would check fingernails and stuff, and they would hit your
the
hand.
knuckles.
Yeah. If they were dirty and that. So it wasn't just at home; it was even like at school, bro.
Back when because when we were growing up in the 90s, they had I remember in my primary school, they had a vote that they'd put out to the parents about what they thought about corporal punishment in the school, like canings and stuff.
Oh, really?
Because they did that.
Yeah.
And I remember, my parents and other parents would have to, give their vote on what it was about.
Instagram poll.
And my dad, like that. My dad was like, yeah, all for it. I looked at him like, what the heck? What?
Was this here in Sydney?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did it end up passing or nah?
No.
Your dad was the only one who voted yes.
But I think it was like, I think it was also a thing in the church. I don't know. But like, I went to like a Catholic school. So.
I think that was big back in the day when my parents went to school, was the teachers used to just wallop kids, man.
Violence was the thing, right?
No, my dad was, my grandfather, one of them was saying that they would get chalk and then just start fanging them at kids. Left,
What
right,
is
and
it?
center.
Chalk?
Yeah.
Chalk.
Oh,
Chalk,
yeah,
chalk
yeah.
blocks.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
Do
kind
you
of
want to explain what chalk is to you?
Well, I remember there was a time in history class where I think we were watching a video. I was talking during the video. The teacher took me out and then put me up against a wall and then smacked like his hands on either side of my face.
Yeah.
Right, that was as like threatening as I got.
Just Randall Daddy?
Mr. Randall, yeah. Shout out. He was actually
Wow.
also on RBT the other a year or two ago, getting done for being over the limit.
Wow.
But anyways, so
Actually a good bloke nonetheless.
yeah. So I've been given one of these ones, and then I come back in the class, and everyone thinks that he's just absolutely giving me a left
Taking you to
hook.
Pound
Oh,
Town.
that's right.
Yeah. But honestly, we're talking corporal punishment, mate. The pimp punishment seems like
Oh, the winner by
that
far.
is the number one winner.
Wait, you guys, I would have thought that there would be like other creative stuff that.
Well, my cousin often gets, if he comes home too late, his mum threatens to change the locks on him.
Yeah.
So he can't get back in the house.
No, like Sen was saying, Sen said this ages ago. It's more psychological.
Psychological,
in South
yeah.
Asian households.
Yeah.
Like
Like
it's,
one of the biggest things is like, if you don't come home at a certain time, our parents would be like, just don't come back.
Yeah.
Just to come back. And then that
So
makes
dramatic,
you like,
bro.
I'm coming home right now. And then they ignore you for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
silent treatment. But yeah.
With some of my nieces and nephews on my mum's side, like their parents would threaten, like if they were misbehaving, that they were gonna send, like they were like 7 or 8 at the time, that they were gonna send them to boarding school back in Sri Lanka. And this is after they've
Terrifying.
heard stories of the teachers just beating the shit out of kids, and that would just immediately like get them to shut up. But I think from what we've heard, it sounds like Christian's got a.
Christian takes it for sure.
I was looking forward to some like really creative stuff, bro. I would have thought.
Yeah.
No, my parents are
So-
pretty boring. They just went for whatever weapon was closest to them.
Yeah.
And
Well, were you guys born here?
yeah,
Or okay, because it kind of feels like if people were born over there, especially from another time. Because I'm much older than you guys, bro. I would have thought that maybe they would have other stories. That's like, oh, that's fucking wild.
The only other story I've
It's
heard.
borderline illegal. You know?
I don't know if this is borderline illegal. It feels extremely unethical. So, the mum, to punish the son, would have him just eat chilies,
Oh,
just
dude,
like spicy foods, just like force feed him and eat it. And this guy's like crying because it's so spicy. I'm just like,
forcing
dude.
them.
Yeah.
My
no, that's kind of fucked up.
yeah,
It's so messed up.
That's
my mum is biological mum. She put chili on my brother's fingernails when he was sleeping because he used to bite them.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty good. Yeah. My brother used to suck his thumb, and then
Yeah.
like I think the doctor or someone said, "Oh, you have to put like
Chili.
like tar, not chili because he's young. It was like tar, like some gross tasting thing. So when he sucks his thumb, he's like kind of
Yeah.
Doesn't do it.
Okay.
There are products for that for kids. And
Yeah.
How old was this person?
22.
stuff. I remember, like, I think I'd seen it in the movie or something like that, where a kid was smoking a cigarette, and then the parent would be like, "You have to smoke this entire pack of cigarettes now as the punishment."
Yeah. This guy's just
then it's like
head rushes for days. Like, but I mean, I still think the punishment of the mung beans on the floor is pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah.
Goated.
It's pretty gnarly.
Would you subject your own kids to that just quietly?
No.
mung beans?
So that was my grandma, right? My dad, he was all like psychological, like this guy said. So it's just the fear of disappointing him now
Yeah.
rather than physical, because he copped that from my grandpa. So he was the generation that put a stop to that
Okay.
physical stuff. But
Now it's all mental.
when I was born, he
Nice
was
and
here in
healthy.
Australia working. It was my grandma had me, so he couldn't stop it from me. Would have been nice, Dad, if he was stuck around for a while. Nah, he's all right. He's all right.
He's still around.
He's a good guy. Good guy.
He's a good bloke. He's a good bloke.
All right, Filipinos take it 1-0. The next category we want to talk about is punctuality. South Asian punctuality versus Filipino punctuality. I feel like I'm going to stay out of this one, Ro. I'll let you handle this.
Well, I don't know what to say here. These boys, we said 11 o'clock recording start. They rock up at 10:59. The bell was rung. So I feel like maybe punctuality's in the blood. Me personally, if I have to be somewhere at 10 and it takes
Yeah.
10 minutes to get there, I'm leaving
At 10.
at 10 minutes before, but I'm not taking into consideration
Traffic.
finding parking,
Oh,
traffic,
yeah.
walking to the place. So like I'm usually like a 5 to 10 minutes late. Sen, probably 20 to 30 minutes late, potentially.
I think that's fair. I think you guys are the first guests we've ever had that's come
On
early.
time, Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I suggest.
is there something, what's Filipino
Pause.
culture like in terms of punctuality? Is it
I mean-
rude to be late?
Like, it's a trope that there's Filipino time, right? Where people will rock up late, maybe half an hour, maybe even later to wherever. But I think in the Philippines, it happens because the traffic is so bad, and it takes hours to get from one place to another, and that's why people are late. And it just so happens that it's become this trope that like Filipinos are late for things. Obviously, if you make an appointment to do something, like, gotta be
Gotta be there.
gotta
Yeah,
be
yeah,
there on time or early or whatever. It is what it is. But
I get late to, I think it depends on what you're going to.
Yeah.
yeah,
So things like this, like I know you guys have to set up and all that stuff. So we wanted to be here on time kind of thing. But if we were having like a cousins get together, these boys would be like, oh, it's public holiday and we're going to be at so-and-so park. All the cousins are coming, bring some food.
yeah.
And they'll be like, we'll be there at 8:30, 9 a.m. to score a good spot. I'll get there at lunch, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, so this is very common then. This is something we have in common, I believe.
I think it is
Yeah.
just an Asian. No, I feel like the Chinese, Japanese definitely are very punctual.
Punctual people. Because yeah, like for example, if someone exactly the same thing, have a birthday barbecue at lunchtime, I'll rock up
Yeah.
like 2-3 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like 2 hours late. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like party starts at 7:30. Man, I'm not rocking up at 7:30
yeah. No one's there.
It's like the
Yeah.
fashionably late type
Yeah.
type of thing. Yeah.
I know that I'd been to Samoa before, and they have this thing called island time.
Island time.
where
Fiji
people-
Island. Yeah.
I think it's a common thing amongst different cultures. But I was told one time that the reason why it is so prevalent that people are late is because there's no concept of time. It's more about spending time with people and being in a moment. And that's why, Filipinos might be late. And it's not a disrespect of time. It's more just like, I'm here in this moment. We're sharing, a moment in time. Then you look at your watch and be like, oh crap, I needed to be at this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's less about disrespect and more just like being present.
I like those. Maybe
That's
you
my
use that.
excuse now from now on. I was just too present.
Sorry, I'm late for this job interview. I was in the toilet being too present.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting one now because what these guys are saying is that there's a trope that Filipinos are always late as well.
Yeah.
And obviously there is a trope
But I
that
think
South
brown
Asians
people
are
are
late.
famously, like to the point where my girlfriend, we were going to a show and she's like, yeah, show starts at 7, you got to be there. So I was like full, like bricking it. I'm like, yeah, we got to get there at 7. We got there at 7. Mate, they were still setting up. It's like, yeah, actually it started at 7:30, but I knew you would be late. So she told me half an hour before.
Filipinos do that too.
Yeah.
Like my family we joke about it and we'll say, okay, cool. The party starts at 7:30. It doesn't start until actual 8:30 or something. So people kind of trickle in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I part of me has this theory or like suspicion that it's come from like racism, that like all brown people are late to things. Because if you think about it, there was probably no concept of time until colonization came about. Like in the Philippines, our language, the way we tell time is in Spanish. It's not in Tagalog because the numbers are like the words are too long to say like 12 o'clock or whatever. So I think that part of me has had this suspicion that it's like, oh, every brown person is late.
Yeah.
Like there's a trope of brown people being late because they don't have a concept of time.
I like that theory, but brother, we're just late. I think
I think we're just late, bro.
I'm not going to try and defend this.
Yeah.
It's just me trying to put a
Bro,
theory
this
out
guy
there.
took it back to colonization.
I know. Sorry, before the Spanish, there was no.
Yeah.
They didn't look at the sun or anything.
Oh
There
no, it was like that, but there was no word for
No one had
10
a
o'clock.
watch.
No
Really?
word for 10:30, whatever.
It was just evening.
Yeah, you'd wake up when the sun came up and you'd
Yeah.
go to sleep when the sun went
Yeah.
down. It's just the
Interesting.
way it
Okay, I
was.
haven't-
Sundown.
So who are we
Yeah.
going to give this
A
round
las
to?
tres, a las cuatro is the how you say 3 o'clock, 4
That's the
o'clock.
Spanish
in
thing.
Tagalog.
The Spanish were late to everything too, so
Yeah.
That's true. It's maybe every culture is like.
yeah.
Too busy having siestas. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Go sleep at lunch.
Dude, when I went to Spain last year, I'm like, dude, these guys live the best
The
lifestyle.
dream. Bit of wine at lunch. Ovo nap.
And I've heard like I actually
Wow,
looked
eh.
into like working into Spain and like they start like at 9, they finish at 5 or 6 maybe. But you got to take into account they have an hour for lunch plus they get an hour for siesta. They get I think a month off for summer and then they get like 2 or 3 weeks off during Christmas.
It's beautiful.
You're barely working
Feliz
4 days a
Navidad,
week.
bro. Yeah.
Feliz Navidad.
That's sick.
Dude, everything's so slow there. No one seems to be in a rush. There's no urgency to get anything done.
The pace is nice. I do like a slower pace of life, I'll be honest.
They've finished conquering other places already, so it's like
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
cool,
We've done
chill.
that
We can
far.
chill
Rest.
now. We can chill.
I don't know. I still stand by that. I think brown people are later.
So do we get the point or do they get the point?
Well, I think we're later, so we got to get the point.
All right. Score is 1-1.
It's because we rocked up early.
Yeah, that's why.
We're letting our people down. Bro.
I know. Sorry, Filipinos.
All right, we talked about this already. The next category is, I guess, driving. So who's got the better/worst drivers? Yeah,
I had a stereotype about Filipino drivers in the area. Like my neighbor, for example, she reversed into my car and said she forgot it was there.
What do you mean? As in she figured your car was there, or she forgot?
My car was parked on the street, bro.
Yeah,
She
just
reversed into this is a driveway. Boom. I was like, how can you have mirrors, dude? Oh, I forgot it was parked there. You don't take a mental snapshot before you drive.
yeah.
Oh,
Just check the mirrors or the
unbelievable.
reverse camera.
so she's just driving on vibes, just like what she's remembered.
If we're talking about drivers in India versus, like, for example, the Philippines, I've only been to Manila and like rural towns. I haven't been to the countryside.
Yeah.
India, the driving was much more fast and loose. Even though Manila was,
I've been to Delhi
yeah,
and like I had an experience there. I was there with friends and we were driving on a freeway and we're going to some temple. And the guy missed the exit. Right? He stops on this busy freeway, reverses about 500 meters to then exit the thing because we were like, oh, we missed the exit. He reversed, and my friends and I are in this like taxi holding on for dear life because
No
cars are
seatbelts?
zipping past. There's no seatbelts.
don't worry about
There's
that.
a motorbike that he clipped as he was going like.
He clipped someone.
He clipped, yeah, the motorbike was undertaking, like he was going on the inside. And then he clipped him as he was turning to go into the exit.
Yeah.
And we're all just like, fuck, we're going to die. And then he laughed as he exited the fucking freeway. We're just like, Jesus Christ.
But did you die though? Nah. Is it like a thing of, I know when I was in Manila, like it kind of never felt like you built up enough speed to cause a big accident. You know what I mean? Because everyone's stuck in congestion all the time. It's like,
True.
well, how bad could this be?
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of time. That's why Don was saying, like, you get late everywhere you go because to travel, like, say, even 5 kilometers away,
You need to, yeah.
it takes forever, bro.
You need to incorporate hours into your.
yeah.
Into your
Do people at least abide by the speed rules? Oh, sorry, not speed rules, like the road rules?
No.
No, okay.
In some places, I mean, like in the Manila CBD, they crack down on the driving a little better, but everywhere else, like everybody, it looks like a school of fish almost. Like it's just everybody's kind of swerving in and out and doing whatever. And I always like I don't get freaked out anymore. I think when
I still do, bro.
but the cars would be like really up close,
super
to each
close.
other. And yeah, like you could smell what the guy had for breakfast. That's how close it was.
But there's surprisingly few accidents, I feel.
I don't know. I feel like there is. We just don't see them in front of you. Like there's probably heaps of small accidents, like little bumps and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you said, because you're not going fast enough. Even in South Asia, you're not going fast enough really
Yeah.
to cause like a head-on-head collision with like multiple casualties. But there are heaps of stories of I think. So all right, what are we calling this, Senny?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to go off. My girlfriend went recently back to India and she told me a story about they were in a tuk-tuk. And like they were trying to navigate through this really like narrow pass. And then the tuk-tuk driver like overtook someone and then just clipped this old woman in a bike and she fell over. And he just kept going. And like her and her mum were mortified and all they could do was just look at the back as they saw this woman just disappear as a small speck in the horizon as he just fucked off as fast as he could. Like there's no regard for human life or
Crazy.
Mate, he didn't run, mate.
that's crazy.
That's
Dude.
insane.
He'd be getting 10 years in jail for that kind of shit. That's wild, man. Like you shouldn't laugh. Like it's funny, but at the same time, it's not funny. Like,
There was
like the drivers here in Sydney. Any stereotypes? Indian drivers in Sydney, Filipino drivers in Sydney.
No, it's just whatever, bro. Like everyone drives.
I feel like the Sydney stereotype is that everybody has road rage. Like Sydney drivers are pretty aggressive. That's the stereotype that I've heard.
Yeah.
The stereotype of Filipinos back then was driving a Toyota or a Honda. And I think that one, like South Asians, the Camry is like, or the Corolla would be the equivalent. It's like the same as what we had back then. But
It's a good car.
yeah, bro.
Camry.
Reliable.
Well, old, yeah, Japanese, bro.
That's a tough one, right?
I call it a draw.
All right.
Oh.
Next category is food. Seems a bit unfair because we've just bundled the whole subcontinent, so 4 different countries into one versus Filipino food.
But Filipino food been influenced by South Asia as well, so it kind of doesn't really work. You know what I mean? You were kind of like a stepchild.
Which came first?
You guys.
South Asians for sure.
Yeah, because you head over to the Southeast Asian parts before we became Philippines, right? Yeah. So I don't know. This one's a bit. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, Filipino cuisine is it borrows from a lot of other cuisines.
Is there much Spanish influence in the Filipino cuisine?
Spanish, Chinese, even like South American. Like we, I don't know. The history was just. I think in general, a lot of people know the Spanish stuff going on. Like, Philippines got taken over by the Spaniards and stuff.
330.
But before that, I think it was South Asia played a big role, bringing I think Islam to the country. That's why like south parts of the country is still there. This is before the Spanish was kicking around, and then since then Americans came around, so it's kind of kept on getting mixed up.
It was head to head. Top 3 Filipino iconic foods.
Yeah, what's your favorite 3 dishes? And it's mate burger number 1.
I don't know.
Maybe like sinigang or adobo.
So what's sinigang?
Sinigang is like it's a soup that's made out of tamarind. It's
okay.
A lot of people liken it to tom yum soup, like it's a sourish type of taste.
Okay. Yep.
But depending on the region in the Philippines, you could have people enjoy it in different ways. Some people like it like their sinigang more salty. Some people like it more sour. Some people even put chili in it, where a lot more spicier sinigang. And it's just to whatever your region is and whatever your family does most is what your taste is.
I thought sinigang is where the Jewish people go pray.
I thought they sold lightly salted donuts.
So sinigang 1, number 2, you said.
No, but I think adobo is the other one, which is kind of like everybody knows about adobo.
Yeah.
how would you describe it? It's kind of like
Soy sauce and vinegar flavor on
on any
on
protein.
Any protein.
Usually it's like chicken.
Chicken, right? I've had
Pork.
chicken adobo. That was delightful.
Yeah.
It's a bit hit and miss though, because like with us at least, like you go to a different household, the way that they cook that dish is different to
Different, yeah.
like maybe my parents or whatever. So
No standard, just like it's to taste.
yeah, I mean
kind of
it's
thing.
there's
standard
a
is
standard
soy
thing,
sauce and
soy sauce and vinegar,
Yeah.
but it's just the way that they cook their stuff is different. Some a little bit more bland. Like my mum would be more heavy on the stronger kind of flavors. That's why I need rice on my stuff. I know why you're having no rice on your food, Don, but it's still wild to me, man.
Sometimes
I
I
don't know
still
about
have
the thing,
rice.
though.
Sometimes.
When you go outside of the city, like in Philippines, like you go more to the provinces, they have weird dishes that are like even people from the city are like, whoa, what are you eating, man? Like there's this one called pinapaitan, and the word is mapait, it's like sour. And it's just like the insides of a pig or cow or something. Yeah, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to just find any Filipino go, yeah, I'm down with that, because it's such a niche taste that everyone can appreciate.
Yeah.
What about when I went to Manila, I saw, was it balut? Is that what it's
Balut,
called?
yeah.
That's wild.
It's
Did anyone try that?
delicacy, Yeah.
I don't know.
I've had it.
I've tried it once, but I didn't like it.
It's like having like an egg yolk, but extra creamier, and there's a bit of
That's
soup
the
and
egg.
stuff.
That's the penoy, bro. The one
I'm thinking the one where you can
it's like
still
a form.
The baby's
Is it
the
the
baby's
embryo in it?
formed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that one's yuck. This is the only
it's more
that's the
just
only
soup,
thing
really.
like Filipinos are early to, bro. Eating a duck.
Eating a duck.
Everything else
Oh,
is we're
really?
late to everything.
Yeah.
Because the eating the duck, we ate it before he got born.
Yeah.
I mean, so
That
you know what I mean.
that and going to the airport.
And the airport thing. Yeah.
Gotta be
Oh,
like
you
6
guys-
hours early.
6 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Minimum.
That's crazy.
To be honest, when I was in the Philippines, my favorite part of the food was the breakfast foods. Like I didn't even know what it was. It's like the rice, then like the pickled veggies, and then some sort of protein, egg
Yeah.
on top.
Oh, that's fancy, dude.
Is it?
Nah, it's usually
You're eating the
pickled
fancy-
veggies, dude. Oh,
Get out of
man.
here with that.
Pickled veggies. I think it's called achara.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's similar to like a
that's nice. That's at a restaurant. That's not someone's house or anything.
It was like I was staying at a hotel. They just
6-star
had-
hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fancy.
it's fancy.
Shangri-La.
But yet usually they would have the rice. It would be egg and then whatever protein.
Yeah.
They call it silog, which is sinangag, which is garlic rice.
Yeah,
Itlog, which is egg, and then whatever you have in the beginning of it. So if you had like tapas or beef, it'd be tapsilog. Or if you had longanisa, which is sausage, longsilog. And yeah, that's Filipino cuisine.
Yeah.
who said that it was like last night's dinner plus rice plus egg is
think-
not the breakfast?
I think Joe Coy said that.
Yeah, it's like leftovers kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
We went to the Ube Festival a couple weeks ago with you guys, and you guys were selling the whole hog,
Whole hog.
towards the end of the day.
Oh, we went, but Angel's Barbecue
Sorry, yeah,
was
they were
oh
selling
yeah, those guys go through crazy amounts.
I mean, we were just trying to think
of
logistically, how would I take the hog home
Chuck-
on like
chuck-
the metro?
Yeah, chuck the hog in the car, drive it
Oh,
back.
they were selling the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, have it shipped to the house or something. It's like,
I was trying to figure out like how long would that last as well. And Manny, you were saying that could be like a couple of weeks.
I think the thing with the Filipino cuisine is like trying to preserve stuff a little better. That's why there's a lot of vinegar in our cuisine because
salts.
Yeah,
and stuff.
salt
longevity.
and, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, can we talk about the dessert row where you got absolutely schooled?
Which is that? Oh, the hala hala.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.
The hello.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? So we bought one, and Ro was holding it, and Miguel's like, oh, like mix it, like you have to mix it to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Ro gave it maybe one or two
It's
really
icy.
half-hearted
It's icy.
swirls, and then started eating it, and we were like standing there,
Blasphemy.
and then this woman came out of nowhere, and she's like,
Running.
you're eating it all wrong, you're not doing it correctly, blah blah blah. She's like, and she just properly gave it an actual
What is
stir.
She mixed it for you.
She mixed it for
Yeah.
us.
Wow.
And then Ro took a couple of bites, like, wow, this is actually really good.
It's actually much better when you mix it.
Is this at Rudy Hill at Mix?
This was at the
Ube
Ube
Fest.
Festival as well. They had the Hala
Do you know
Hala.
who that was?
I don't know who was.
Oh.
But to be fair, the
Trying to
dessert
go
is
eat a
called
dick,
mix
bro.
mix.
Fucking
Like
touch my food, man.
yeah.
I don't think anyone's got a right to tell you, oh, you're eating your shit wrong. It's like, I'm enjoying it.
To be fair, she was right though.
No, I liked it. I liked
I
it
liked
because
it.
isn't like if
We look like
I-
idiots.
You've been
we see-
gaslighted by some Filipino auntie.
Yeah, fucking shit. Oh,
And you could
bro.
tell she was taking it personally.
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
so she was
must-
that offended that she had to come across.
She would have been sitting there for like the last like 10 minutes just
Watching
seeing me
these
doing
idiots.
this and just like getting more and more furious. Give me that.
How can you get
Mix it up.
offended over someone eating alcohol? That's embarrassing, bro.
No, I think that was fine.
Someone
actually
put their
nice.
hands on your food. I'll be like,
Yeah, we're upset for you.
yeah, man.
But I also find it hilarious.
No,
I was, mate, I was so grateful for that because otherwise, if I'm eating it wrong, I want to know about
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
There's really no right or wrong. It's really like a preference thing. The thing is called halo. You mix it, right?
Yeah.
But there's parts in there that I don't like the beans and stuff. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
I didn't like the beans.
I loved it.
I try to avoid that kind of stuff. So when it's mixed in, it's like,
Can't avoid
I
it.
don't know. When you guys used to eat, do you guys eat cereal when you were like kids and
Yeah.
stuff? So it's not necessarily the best when it's all soggy, right? Sometimes you just want a bit of thingo with the milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine someone go, no, you got to mix everything, bro. Like,
Don't touch my
get
food.
away, bro. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
the fuck are you, man? There's someone, bro. I would have reported them.
Food.
South Asian food.
I think we call it a draw. Oh, you.
Dad, this is ridiculous. All
You guys
right?
haven't even talked about
I mean, look,
South Asian.
look. All right, as much as I love the Philippine culture, obviously I'm biased because I'm South Asian. But if we look in top 10 lists of food, mate, Philippines, nowhere in sight. Indian, maybe top
It's
5.
everywhere,
dare I
dude.
suggest?
Yeah. Like, say, if you go around the world, people are bound to know Indian food more than Filipino food
Yeah.
for good reason.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like,
No, back the boys, back
I'm just
Filipino.
thinking, like, if you go to some places completely white, right? And they go,
Yeah.
I love butter chicken. You'd be like, would you count that? I don't know.
No, this guy loves his butter
Mate,
chicken.
I'm a number one proponent of butter
We've
chicken.
gone to two Indian. We normally don't actually go to Indian restaurants here in Sydney
That often, yeah.
We in the
Yeah.
last month we've gone twice, and both times you ordered a butter chicken.
Yeah. Well,
Disgusting. Garlic naan and butter chicken. I'm like, bro,
People
what are
that
you
don't
doing?
know, the butter chicken is like the whitest Indian
The
food.
whitest.
Yeah.
no, obviously the other stuff is there, but I don't mind myself a bit of butter chicken.
Nah, man. That's
What's your
filthy.
favorite like South Asian dish?
Me personally,
Yeah, I like both. Yeah, both.
I
of
like
you.
I like the charts. Honestly, I think Indian food for me, to be honest, the best type is always the starters. So you have like the chicken 65s, you have the gobi Manchurians, you have the charts, you have the pani
Yeah.
puris, all these like starter little bits bobs. I love it. The actual curries themselves, I mean, they're good, but I personally, when I go to all these events and the buffets, when the starters come out, I just load up on that. Don't worry about the mains as much.
Do you mix
I
different
could
types?
smash pani puri all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do you go to those places where they have different bowls on the one big plate?
Mhm.
Is that are you from Gujarat, like on the left hand
No,
side?
I'm
of the
actually
thing?
from South Asia.
Ah, okay.
in
South
Kerala.
India.
Kerala.
Yeah.
Kerala.
Sorry,
Bang.
South India. In Kerala, yeah. Gujarat is in the north.
This
Yeah,
part here,
yeah.
Christian is visually
Yeah,
trying to
just
draw
trying
out
to think
India
what-
with his hands right now. No, any kind of biryani, any lamb
Biryani's
dish.
the shit, bro.
Mm.
There's a Sri Lankan one called kotroti, which you tried recently for the
No,
first time.
Not the first time. I've had it plenty of times, but I didn't have it at
Sorry, there's one.
Toongabi.
There's one in Toongabi which you need to go to, and you tried it and you thought it was
very good. Very
Yeah.
good food. Very good food.
So I usually I stick to the meat based dishes. Otherwise, there's dosa. I like dosa as well, which is more South Indian.
yeah. Breakfast foods.
That's more breakfast food. Yeah.
That thing's influenced like so many different places. Like I had mates from Nigeria or Kenya, and their food kind of looked like it came straight out of an Indian restaurant.
Correct.
But like they have their own little spin.
correct.
version
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Like, bro, this is dope.
Yeah, some of my favorite foods when I was when I visited India, pani puri, smash that.
Pani puri is so overrated. I just want to say that.
Yeah,
for the
no,
record.
so overrated.
Thank you. I thought you actually.
Tiny burger was.
And also, my favorite dish was palak paneer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
was
yeah,
over there.
nice. That's
Yeah,
good.
There you go.
Have that heaps.
I'm gonna have to give it to South Asian.
I'm gonna
food,
stay
which
out of
is-
this
Yeah, I
one.
would've
I tried to
gone
be
with South
diplomatic.
Asian.
and,
Yeah, I liked it because
Yeah.
there'd be times when, like, sometimes when I was living in Singapore, especially, Indian food was my comfort food. Just have like a nice curry.
Yeah, there's heaps of Indians.
Bro, one of the dishes we got, it's called kare kare, and it really come from that, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
South Asians taking the food.
the stereotype thing, I think, was like, I know we were kind of talk about before. I was just kind of curious because, like, with like Filipinos, at least, we kind of had this, especially like Filipinos that are out here. We always have this thing with like families beefing with each other because a grandparent passed away, and now there's this land that's up for grabs, right?
It's like,
Inheritance thing.
it's happening to me.
Yeah, see? So I don't know if it's the same thing with South Asia, you got like a big piece of land, like real estate. People like big families too, so obviously there's gonna be
Tensions.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just figured like, is that something that is not necessarily a Filipino thing or
Yeah, does it happen? In South
No,
Asian
that's
culture?
very much
Very
yeah.
common.
I remember, I swear my
Yeah.
grandparents were trolls on my mom's side. Like they had like this land where the back half was owned by one of my mom's sisters, and then the front half was owned by one of her other sisters. But then there was a piece in the middle that was given to my mum. And so she was just getting berated by both sides. Like, give us the land, give us the land. And that went on for years. I think my mom ended up selling it to like just a third party. It's like, I can't deal with this.
a third party?
It's just like, I'm not, like,
That's
if I
mad
give it to
petty.
one of you guys, like, that's it, it's finished. Like, that's yeah, a tale as old as time, like ancestral land and houses.
One of my friends had to go back to Sri Lanka recently to settle a land dispute. And I mean, actually, what happened?
Better call Saul Sri Lanka.
Is what it was. He was telling the story about how basically, everyone's fighting over this piece of land. Even my family, Mig said his family's going through it. My family at the moment is going through it, not against family, but there was like squatters who were just decided to sell the land.
yeah.
And then suddenly they're saying, oh, actually, now we own the land, you know, blah, blah, blah. And now my family's in like this dispute over who owns the land.
Yeah.
So it's, I feel like the land stuff is highly common.
It's wild, yeah. I've seen this Instagram reel of this dude who they hired someone like a caretaker to look after the farmland and stuff. That caretaker ended up selling the land to someone. So now the dispute is between the owner of the land and the dude that just paid so and so. It's like, what are you talking about, man?
I own this land. But
I just bought it. It's not. He wasn't his to sell. Like, so terrible.
Yeah, caretakers off scot-free, makes
Yeah.
it out of there.
I know, like in Sri Lanka, like the record keeping was horrendous. So my mom had to go even prove that she like got given the land via my grandma's will. Like that was a whole ordeal that took like a year to like a couple of trips back to like the local council
Yeah.
in the village to prove that hey, this is actually my land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one was you couldn't even figure out where the land was because there's I don't know again about you guys, but
No
these are
borders.
like rice paddies. There's no borders.
Yeah.
There's no fence. There's no
Fences,
borders. It's all just vibes based. So like you got from the road to that tree over there. Like,
Yeah.
so you can't actually. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
mapping it in the star, like, just out here.
A triangle.
Crow flew over that way. That's where the crow.
Far as the eye can
and the thing
see.
is, like, if you think about like your grandparents, their parents, like they probably didn't buy the land. They probably just got there. They sat there, like, oh, I guess this is my land
Terra
now.
nullius.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
literally, they just claim it.
Terra nullius.
Yeah. All right. So it seems like the last option was land. Land disputes.
Land.
disputes.
Who's got the most land disputes? But it sounds
Well,
like
there's more land in South Asia, so you guys won
But
this.
Sarah suggests more premium land in the Philippines on the islands and stuff.
Is it really? I don't know,
I would
man.
say so.
Hurricanes run through that like crazy every year.
Yeah, typhoons and stuff.
Here's a fun fact that they were starting to build a Disney style theme park in a place called Tagaytay in the Philippines, and it is also very close to a volcano.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Taal Lake and Taal Volcano.
Cheap real estate.
And so they built it, but then the volcano erupted,
Okay.
and now it's just like this. Like it's
It's Vesuvius. Just
like
When they built it, was it active back then as well?
I think it was like dormant, but then
okay.
but then it's just like this empty
Mm.
thing. They built the structures and stuff like that.
Oh,
You
and
can
it's just sitting
drive
there.
past and you can see it.
that's cool.
But like, yeah, no one's allowed in there unless you get an invite. It's just
That's
abandoned Disneyland type thing.
All
I'm
right.
sure people are disputing about that as well. so.
Who owns the volcano?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Who owns the park? All right, we'll wrap it up there.
I'm in the lava.
Land disputes is a tough one. We'll call it 50-50, but job done.
It's so funny that we're like, who's got the best punishment? Who's got the best
Yeah.
of the worst stuff?
Man,
I love
How
that.
many families have been affected by this?